On the morning of July 11th, 2022, the body of beloved television actress Cassandra Moore was found inside her upscale Beverly Hills home. The 36-year-old star, who rose to fame through a role in the long-running drama City Lights, had been brutally murdered. Her assistant discovered her lifeless body sprawled across the kitchen floor, a pool of blood beneath her and shattered glass scattered throughout the room. Early autopsy results revealed multiple stab wounds and defensive injuries, indicating a fierce struggle. There were no signs of forced entry and nothing appeared to be stolen, pointing investigators toward a deeply personal motive. Cassandra Moore wasn't just a celebrity. She was a cultural icon. With over a decade of stardom under her belt, she had transformed from a struggling waitress to a millionaire actress, gracing magazine covers, award shows, and social causes. But fame came with a cost. Over the years, Cassandra's personal life was riddled with controversies, tabloid scandals, a turbulent divorce from music producer Blake Vance, and rumors of drug use. Behind her dazzling red carpet appearances was a woman battling depression and intense anxiety. Friends described Cassandra as warm, but increasingly paranoid in recent months. She had confided in close confidants about being followed, about anonymous letters sent to her dressing room, and a stalker that had never been caught. The police had taken her claims seriously and even installed security cameras around her home. But the perpetrator still managed to get in. Detective Rachel Ayers led the homicide investigation. A 30-year veteran of the LAPD, Ayers was no stranger to Hollywood crimes. She immediately prioritized Cassandra's inner circle. First on the list, her ex-husband Blake Vance. Their bitter public divorce had ended just a year prior, and Blake had since been embroiled in a lawsuit over royalties from Cassandra's endorsement deals. But Blake had a rock-solid alibi. He was performing live at a club in Las Vegas the night of the murder, backed by security footage and dozens of witnesses. Attention then turned to Cassandra's assistant, Lindsay Hargrove. She was the one who found the body and called 911. Lindsay had worked for Cassandra for 6 years and was seen as more of a sister than an employee. But inconsistencies in her timeline raised red flags. She claimed to have arrived at the house at 8:30 a.m., but surveillance footage from a neighbor's doorbell cam showed her car parked across the street at 7:45 a.m. What was she doing for those 45 minutes? During interrogation, Lindsay broke down. She admitted to arriving early, but claimed she sat in her car, writing an email before entering the house. Her laptop was checked, and indeed, a draft email had been started at 7:50 a.m. and never sent. Still, the timing gnawed at the detectives. Forensic analysis of the scene provided a breakthrough. A single partial fingerprint, smudged but usable, was found on a broken wine glass near Cassandra's body. It didn't match anyone in the household. After running it through the system, the print was matched to Dean Keller, a former security contractor with a history of stalking and assault. Dean had once been hired by Cassandra's security team years earlier, but had been fired for erratic behavior. Further digging revealed that he had written Cassandra multiple letters, obsessive, delusional messages professing love and claiming they were destined to be together. Cassandra had even filed a restraining order against him in 2019. The arrest of Dean Keller seemed like the end of the road. He was found in a dingy motel in Pasadena, hiding out with Cassandra's stolen jewelry in his duffel bag. When confronted by the detectives, he initially denied everything, but his demeanor shifted when shown the fingerprint evidence. Still, he muttered under his breath, "You should ask who let me in." This cryptic statement sent Ayers back to the timeline. There were no signs of forced entry, and Keller had no key. So how did he enter the heavily surveilled and secure property? The camera logs showed no break-in, no perimeter breach. Someone had to have let him in. Lindsay was questioned again. Under pressure, she finally confessed. She had let Dean in. Months earlier, Lindsay and Dean had crossed paths at a Hollywood mixer. Dean presented himself as a producer interested in launching Lindsay's own acting career, her dream job. Desperate to escape the long shadow of being just an assistant, Lindsay had agreed to a secret meeting with Dean, where he promised connections, scripts, and auditions. He flattered her, offered opportunities, and subtly began poisoning her mind against Cassandra, suggesting she was holding Lindsay back. Their relationship turned from professional to manipulative. Lindsay claimed she never imagined Dean would hurt Cassandra. She thought he just wanted to talk. On the day of the murder, she let him in while Cassandra was still asleep. She left him in the guest lounge and went outside to sit in her car, too nervous to confront Cassandra about it. What she didn't know, or didn't want to believe, was that Dean had brought a knife. Dean confessed in full. He said Cassandra had humiliated him, destroyed his chances, and rejected their connection. His obsession had festered into resentment and rage. When she confronted him in her kitchen, a heated argument turned violent. The stabbing was frenzied, personal. Dean Keller was charged with first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole. Lindsay Hargrove was charged with criminal negligence and obstruction of justice. Though she did not physically harm Cassandra, her actions directly facilitated the crime. The public was stunned. Media outlets dissected every detail, and the case became a cultural phenomenon. Cassandra's funeral drew thousands, from co-stars to fans, all grieving the loss of a woman whose life had been both luminous and haunted. In the months that followed, more stories came to light about Cassandra's generosity, donations to women's shelters, secret scholarships she had funded, and her advocacy for mental health awareness. Her tragic end became a rallying point for discussions about celebrity vulnerability, the dark corners of obsession, and the hidden costs of fame. Detective Ayers later remarked, "This wasn't just about one broken man. It was about the shadows that fame casts, how admiration can curdle into obsession, and how the people closest to us can sometimes be the most dangerous." Cassandra Moore's legacy endures, not only in her film and television work, but in the lessons her story left behind. Fame may dazzle, but as this chilling case revealed, its glow can sometimes blind the world to the dangers lurking in plain sight.